It's opening weekend for our fall-winter local series. 2 rounds this weekend here as we get set for some great racing. Hello again, everybody. I am Tony Monica here from Ocala Grand Prix, and we are full in the pits. A lot of drivers making their way out here this weekend for the big doubleheader. And we have a lot of drivers who are looking for their first start here at Ocala Grand Prix, and those defending champions looking for some good racing competition here this weekend as we roll into our opening weekend here at Ocala Grand Prix. All right, we're catching up with Granger Parrott. Granger running in the Mini Swift and Mini Rock class here at the Ocala Grand Prix Local Series. First off, a very busy day, Granger. You're getting ready to go on a beautiful day here at Ocala Grand Prix.
I'm excited for both classes. I think I'm going to do really well.
All right, qualifying in the books, you did qualify pretty well. Where did you qualify in both classes?
I qualified 3rd in Miami Mini Swift and 6th in Mini Rock.
Right, is there a big difference going from one class to the other? And tell us a little bit about the 2 different classes.
There's not much big of a difference. The Miami Mini Swift is fast, but the Mini Rock, pretty close. Not much of a difference.
All right, so how do you feel today? Is we got a very busy weekend. We've been running Saturday and Sunday. You get out there today. How do you feel with this kart? You feel you can be pretty competitive?
Yes, I do think we could probably run top 3.
Top 3. All right, let me ask you this too. Now, I do a lot of race announcing, and I've seen your name come up a couple times on the list for dirt racing. You do a lot of dirt racing around the state of Florida. How does that help you, Granger, coming from the dirt to the pavement? Talk a little bit about the 2 differences.
On the dirt, there's not much of a difference. It's still kind of as grippy, but it's just different carts and different tires and different drivers.
Do you get a lot of experience still learning from the dirt then to come into the pavement?
A lot. Get a lot of experience.
All right, buddy. Listen, congratulations. And I know your dad's a big part of this team. Tell us about how your dad helps you with this team and how much he's an influence on you.
He's a big influence. He's helps do my cart and takes it to tech and puts the tires on. Stuff that I probably couldn't do myself.
Right, he's a great guy. Listen, congratulations. I know I'll see you at a racetrack somewhere, but more important, good luck this weekend. Big doubleheader on opening weekend here at Ocala Grand Prix.
Thank you.
On today's episode, we're going to meet a family who has many generations of auto racing. We'll meet one-time NASCAR Craftsman truck driver Scott Walters and his 7-year-old daughter Carson Walters. Carson, a young lady who started here at Ocala Grand Prix in kid karts at age 5, and they have their full meaning of family. Also, we'll take a look at our shifter karts. Now, when you talk about shifter karts, this is a top level of karting. You'll see speeds up to 70 to 80 miles per hour here at Ocala Grand Prix. Also, we'll take a look at one of the most popular classes here at the track. That's the local option 206, which is really built up to be one of the bigger and most competitive classes here. So we're very excited, and we're so glad you're joining us on this episode today.
Hi, I'm Carson Walters. I'm 8 years old, and I started racing when I was 4.
You really like the karting, and you tell me it's a lot of fun. Tell me, why is it so much fun?
Because I like going fast and the speed of it, and it's just a fun way of learning.
All right, now you're going to run 2 classes today, going to get a lot of experience. That helps you, doesn't it? Make you better as you run 2 different classes.
It does help me because it helps me adapt to 2 different karts.
All right, now, let me ask you this. You're going to go into 3rd grade, you're 8 years old. What do all your schoolmates think and the teachers think of you about racing go-karts on the weekends?
They really love it because one time I brought in my go-kart for show and tell, and they were like, whoa, that's so cool. And they asked me a lot of questions, and they just thought it was really cool that I do it.
All right, now, do you play any other sports, or is it just go-kart is your favorite thing to do?
I play softball as well.
Wow, so you've got a lot of talent there. Okay, we're going to bring in your dad, who's a big part of this again. Scott Walters will join us again. Scott, Obviously, you've been around a long time, NASCAR driver. You competed in the Craftsman Truck Series back in the day, long-time late model driver. I mean, how much do you really bring to the table now with your daughter in go-karts? It's a huge difference, obviously, with the setups and things like that. Talk about the big difference and what experience you bring to your daughter, Carson.
Well, the go-kart world is definitely new to me. You know, I've had a lot of racing, the Craftsman Truck Series, Busch, super late models, like you say. Totally different animal. You know, they have springs and shocks to work with. These, it's just tires, and I'm still trying to figure out what it needs to make them go fast. So.
And now you work on the stuff pretty much yourself. You're not with a big team and like that. So obviously there's a lot more on you to try to get everything done. We're talking about 2 different karts and running out here today. Obviously you're pretty busy back here with these karts.
Very busy. You know, thanks to my wife. She does a lot of the coaching for Carson. Gives me time to work on the go-kart. Hope I'll get them where she can drive them. You know, we're still learning, like I said, but she's doing a great job.
Let me ask you this. Obviously with racing in your blood, Scott, how does a 4.5-year-old child come in and say, hey, I want to go go-kart racing? How did all that come about with obviously which has really turned out strong for Carson?
Well, since she was born, she's been at the racetrack with me, you know, watching me race. And one day she walked in and said, Dad, I want to do something. So we got a kid kart, started racing. She really adapted to that very well. We ran the kid kart career. We moved up to this level. And she's running against a lot of tough competition. The main thing I try to tell her is just have passion for the sport.
And then again, we talked about running 2 separate classes. I think a lot of it is, we talk to parents, is the seat time. You know racing, Scott, all your life.
Well, the seat time is key. Actually, with running the Rock, it's a different tire compound as the Rotax. And so she's learning how to drive a little bit harder tire, a little bit softer tire. So every time she goes out, she's on something different, and I think that's better for them in the long run.
Final thing, obviously your wife is with us. Obviously you bring the dog. Such a huge family event where you look at other sports, Scott, you don't really see that, but you could really be the coach and really participate with your daughter out there racing. The entire family, I know your wife is right there constantly helping her get ready, helping her coach. It's a huge family thing here with racing here at Ocala and all the way across the board.
It is. I'll tell you, we've been in this maybe 3 or 4 years now, I guess, in the go-karting, and that was the one thing that we really enjoyed the most was the family atmosphere. You can just look in the pits here and you see so many people, families, motorhomes, and that's very cool.
And how about the future for Carson? And obviously it's up to her to make that decision, but how do you see her future? Continuing with the karting, or where do you see her going with that? And when do you make the move? As you see a lot of kids come up through karts, the cars, you're coming out of cars, no stranger. When do you make that move? And obviously it's a lot of desire what she wants to do down the road.
Well, hopefully she still sticks with karting or whatever she wants to do as far as racing goes. You have to be able to compete and win at your local level to really take the next step up. So it's just getting there, getting confidence in herself. You have to win races, and then whatever she wants to do next, we'll try to tackle that.
Well, it's great having a great teacher, obviously, with your background. I mean, it really is a big, important thing as far as coaching. Listen, Carson, congratulations and good luck. And do you have a favorite race car driver, or are you just Carson Walters, the superstar?
Daddy.
Daddy? Well, I'll tell you, you couldn't have picked a better one, and I'm able to watch your dad race, and he's an outstanding race car driver. Hey, good luck here in the rest of the season, and congratulations.
Thank you.
What an incredible future young Carson Walters has, and how neat it is to have the entire family spend the day together at the track. Couldn't ask for a better day here at Ocala Grand Prix. Now I want you to meet a young driver who's moved into the shifter karts, Zachary Hollinshead. Zachary, a newcomer to the shifters. He'll talk a little bit about the differences of shifter karts prior to what he used to do with regular karts. So we'll go ahead and meet the youngster, Zachary Hollinshead. He'll get into in-depth and what really takes to drive a shifter kart for him here at OGP.
Catching up with junior driver, team driver here at Ocala Grand Prix, Zachary Hollinshead. Zachary out here this weekend, opening round here at Ocala for our local series. You and the team member, Zachary, getting a little seat time out there. Something a little different today. You guys are in the junior shifter karts. Tell us a little bit about the difference now as you get into the junior shifter kart.
They're a lot faster, a lot more handwork. Shifting and braking is a lot harder. Everything about it's different.
And you guys have seemed to adjust, and talking about your teammates, obviously Jade and Dylan, seem to adjust very well and quickly to get into the shifter karts.
Yeah, we've been working a lot, practicing almost every weekend, just getting more experience in the kart.
And you said a lot of times too, coming off the line, that's got to be the key, isn't it, to try to get off the line, Zachary, and get that quick spot up in the front.
Yeah, you always have to have the fastest kart off the line, try to get the best starting position.
And what kind of things do you guys, yourself and the team try to accomplish now as you're out here getting some seat time with this junior shifter karts?
Working on lines a lot, It's a big difference compared to the tag karts.
All right, now you guys get ready, geared up next month at SCUSA out in Vegas, which is really probably one of the biggest events of all 2017. You guys are going to be in the IAMI class. Talk a little bit about the class, and as you guys gear up and get ready, a lot of practice coming your way before Vegas.
Yeah, we've been running the junior shifter, so converting back to the tag kart, it's going to be quite a bit of a challenge. Got to get everything ready for Vegas.
All right, and how about schooling and things like that? We always talk about in the past. How does that affect your schooling now as you take time off and do travel like that?
It's a lot more work. You have to get things done a lot quicker, get things right in school, or else you can't race.
You can't race. Listen, congratulations. Moving on into the junior shifter kart. Have a little fun this weekend, and again, good luck as you guys move up to SCUSA next month in Vegas, and want to congratulate you on a great run here at Ocala Grand Prix.
Thank you, and also thanks to my team and my mom and my dad for making it happen.
All right, Zachary Hollins, team driver here at Ocala Grand Prix.
So we're set to go. Your shifters, combination of junior shifters along with your shifter senior drivers. Dylan Gennaro, Dylan, OGP driver in the 759. Zachary Hollins, that'll be in the 756. Jade Hubert, Jade in the 713 junior drivers. Now battling some side-by-side racing. Good, a little approach down to the tree turn. So we're set to go. Big class 206 senior. Hunter Fox, row one on the inside. Dylan Almonds into the outside. Green is up. Brian gonna let him go. Mad dash as they head down into turn number one. Hunter Fox going to stay down to the low side. He'll bring him off through the chicane. Six-tenths of a mile here at Ocala Grand Prix. He'll head up into the top of the showcase, battling for the win. Off the top of the showcase, Hunter Fox trying to run him down. And they'll come to the line. Checker flag waves. 206 senior winner will be the 25 of Evan Cowan. Hunter Fox coming home second. What a finish again for one of our big classes here at Ocala Grand Prix, your 206 seniors. I hope you enjoyed that race featuring our local option 206 drivers. Very competitive drivers, very competitive field, and really looking forward to them wrapping it up here in 2017. Another great feature here at Ocala Grand Prix is our scholarship program. This scholarship program you will see nowhere else in the country, exclusive here at OGP. We have two separate classes with 7 drivers involved. In our Rock Mini, Evan Hanberg right now sits on top of the leaderboard. Dean Dibdahl, a very good competitor. Dean right there in the hunt of things. You have Tom Shoecraft III, young driver, still in contention. Also Carson Walters. We talked to Carson here today in the show. What a great group of drivers. They're all competing for the scholarship. On our Rock Junior side, 3 very competitive drivers. Bryce Haynes, Cody Crooker, and Jordan Harris all involved in looking for that scholarship. Currently, Bryce Haynes on top of the leaderboard. So this is something, not only are they going for that big trophy, but have an opportunity to get a scholarship for a free ride anywhere in the state of Florida, which means a lot to the drivers and a lot more to the parents.
Catching up with Daniel Krajewski. Daniel competes here at Ocala Grand Prix in 2 classes, the Mini Swift and Mini Rock, under the watchful eye of Gonzalo Aponte's AK Team Racing Team. Daniel, congratulations on a very good start here. Double points weekend. Obviously today and tomorrow we'll be racing a doubleheader. You qualified very well. Tell us how you qualified today in the Mini Swift and Mini Rock class.
Mini Rock I qualified in 4th, and Mini Swift I qualified 2nd.
All right, is there a big difference in the Mini Rock and Mini Swift when you get on the karts? Can you tell Daniel if there is a big difference in those 2 karts?
There's not a big difference in those 2 karts, about the exact same.
All right, and how about the extra seat time that you're getting now? You're able to run in 2 classes, and again, you're going against some very good competition here this weekend at Ocala Grand Prix.
Yeah, I'm going against very good competition.
You talked about a couple of the guys. I know Evan's been one of the tough ones to catch out there. Can you catch them today?
Yes, I hope so.
All right, let me ask you this. You're one of the participants now in the scholarship here, just a handful of drivers able to get into that. How do you feel about a scholarship? And obviously your parents are very elated to have you in the competition to possibly get a scholarship here at Ocala Grand Prix.
My parents would like me to get a scholarship and to pay for college.
Yeah, obviously parents like that. And how about your teammates now? Obviously you have a lot of good teammates with Gonzalo, obviously looking over the team. But how about your teammates? Do you guys share information? Do you talk about what goes on off the track?
Yes, we share a lot of information. We have training. We look at the computer, see what's wrong.
So a lot of that stuff helps you out. Well, listen, congratulations on a great start here this weekend. AKT Racing Team under the watchful eye of Gonzalo Ponte, Daniel Krajewski. Listen, good luck, buddy, and good luck on that scholarship. Catching up with Tom Shoecraft III. Tom running in our mini rock class here as we kick off opening weekend here at Ocala Grand Prix. Tom, we've got qualifying in the books. You qualified 7th. Tell us a little about your qualifying effort here today.
I was trying to catch up to the person in front of me. The car was sliding around a lot, and I was just trying to keep on the track.
It was a little bit slick out there. How was the track out there this afternoon?
It was kind of a little wet.
Was it a little bit damp? All right, now you're going to get ready for your pre-final and final. How do you look forward to a very tough competition, a group of drivers here today as you get set for pre-finals?
I feel confident about myself.
All right, tell me a little bit about your teammates now. We talked to Daniel earlier. Do the teammates work together? Tell us a little about what you guys do in between races outside of horse around, and I know you guys play with the football a lot.
We normally try to draft each other out on the track.
And how about after the races? Do you guys talk a little bit about the different things that happen on the track and work with Gonzalo?
Normally we watch our video after track and then we go play.
All right, I know you guys get to play in it. Now, you're obviously a participant in our scholarship here. I know you already got plans for all that money, but wouldn't that be a big thing for you to win a scholarship and get that ride for 4 years?
So,
All right, looking forward to it. Good luck this afternoon. Good luck all weekend. Tom Shoecraft III. Of course, I know you wanted to thank some folks too, Tom.
I want to thank Gonzalo Puente, my mom, my dad, and Joe Ortiz.
All right, great job. Congratulations, Tom Shoecraft III.
Today we're joined by shop manager Chris Enderlein here at Ocala Grand Prix. We're going to get more in depth of the shifter carts. We've talked about the shifter carts, what's involved in them, how fast do they go, how do you set them up. Chris, again, great to see you and welcome as always. All right, the big question is, how fast does a shifter cart go here at Ocala Grand Prix? People always want to know, how quick are they? They're fast. I get to announce them. How quick are they?
Gearbox cart here will probably run somewhere between 75, 85 miles an hour. We do have faster carts. They'll get well over 90, but it's not something that we are running in a competitive series right now.
Right, and people don't realize how close to the ground that these carts really are. How close is a shifter cart to the ground? I mean, less than an inch, 2 inches.
Oh,
How
geez.
close is it, Chris?
Much closer than even your tag-based stuff. So a gearbox cart is set up for a lot of rear end traction. They're very fast. You need to get off of the corner. Dropping the rear of the cart brings the average height somewhere between 5 and 8 millimeters off of the ground itself. We rub through some of the seats quite frequently.
Now the big difference is shifter carts. When you look at shifter carts, and I call them the regular carts, talk about the big difference of the two carts like that, going from a regular cart to a shifter cart.
I would have to say the biggest step for people going from a regular chassis to a gearbox-based cart is you have four-wheel brakes on a shifter.
Okay.
They are very aggressive. The braking is different and the driving line is different when you move up into the gearbox. The other thing people struggle with a little bit is it is a gearbox. Instead of just using your foot for the throttle and using your foot for the brake, you also have 6 speeds and a clutch. So you're trying to teach people how to drive a different line, how to brake differently, how to access the shifting and everything else that goes along with it, as well as how to properly slip a clutch in order to leave the line without completely killing the motor.
And a great point, when you talk about the line, watching the races in the shifter class, coming off the line, Chris, is so big. How do the drivers develop that knack to come off the line? When they get the hand up and they come off the line, so many races are won and lost at the line. I just watched our last local series where we had a couple drivers couldn't get off the pole position. Drivers came right between them. How important is that to get off it? What does that actually take to get that kart dialed in and get off the line like that?
We do practice after practice on starts. So you have them pull up, you have them stop, you have them learn to feel where the clutch is, and then from there you just do it over and over and over again. It's a knack that you develop. If you can't leave the line, you are going to get passed. It's pretty much up to the driver to get used to how the clutch feels. Keeping your foot on the brake while slowly disengaging the clutch, but not letting it out so much that it stalls the motor. You'll see the kids out there waving their hands.
Right.
Usually they've let the clutch out so far with their foot on the brake that it just stalls the motor.
How do you set these karts up? What's the difference between that and a regular kart? Is there a big difference as far as the setup, tire pressure, and things that go into setting up a kart for a local race?
Yes. The gearbox stuff, like I mentioned earlier, is set up so it has an enormous amount of traction corner off.
Okay.
These vehicles want to go. So when you put your setup on the kart, you gear it a lot more towards rear end traction. It is a point and shoot style driving versus a rolling momentum. So the kart has to be stable on entry under very aggressive braking so it's not skittish, and it needs to rotate very fast, set the tires back down, and accelerate off in a straight line, hence the different style of driving versus a rolling momentum kart.
Here at Ocala Grand Prix, we feature a junior shifter class.
Yes.
How much of a stepping stone is that to get into the senior side, and how big is it for those junior drivers to get out there and learn on the junior level?
I guess the biggest stepping stone is the shifting, the braking, and the line. If you have the time to do it, or the driver has the time to work with it, it's not as difficult as you would think. I guess the biggest stepping stone to go into it is, are you financially ready to get into the gearbox stuff? What it takes is a little bit more investment into tires, a little bit more investment into time to figure out how to drive it properly. It's very aggressive, so the track time is more. It's about track time. It's about getting into it and doing it over and over and over again.
When you hear people talk shifter class, that's when the people want to come to the fence. They want to see, which is really the premier level of karting. I believe they go up to 125cc, if I'm not mistaken, even higher in certain different levels of the cars. How much of an impact does that bring to them to come from the shifter karts into open wheel like that, and how much they learn as such a premier class of the shifters?
I guess it being the premier class puts it almost on another level. The aggression level is up. People love watching the starts. It is very close. The passing that it takes, especially at a track like ours, is very last minute, or the last second, not even minute. It happens so fast. Everything, the passes, the shifting, and the fact that most of your gearbox motors have a considerable amount more horsepower than your other engines do, it also makes them fun to watch because of the way they come off of the corners. It's so fast. Now, as far as your gearbox drivers getting into next level racing, some of that is true. You have to take a bit of both classes in order to make a real driver for an open wheel class. But what it will teach you for sure in a gearbox is threshold braking. The amount of brake and brake pressure it takes to slow that vehicle down at the very last second. You have drivers at the premier level that they are so close, motor, chassis, and skill level, that anything that happens so fast that it helps build that reaction time. The ability to feel stopping power that is bar none over the top. You can't find in any kind of motorsport the performance that you get out of a gearbox in a go-kart. It's just not possible until you get to a lot of the really high-end open wheel racing, almost to a Formula One level. It's why you see a lot of ex-Formula One drivers or super high-end open wheel drivers transitioning back and forth and practicing in a gearbox because of the G-forces, the acceleration, the braking, and everything that goes along with the shifter.
What can you do here at Ocala Grand Prix as shop manager to help those drivers develop into the next level? Obviously, we have the school here, personal lessons that you can take here at the track. What are some of the things that you guys would do, Chris, if you were going to take somebody, put them into a shifter kart for the first time? What are some of the things that you'd be able to teach them in the direction you want to go in as far as developing somebody to make that next step here at Ocala Grand Prix?
Well, getting into a shifter, which we've transitioned a very large number of people this year into the gearbox stuff, we'll take what we know as far as chassis setup, design, driver coaching, and we give it all to our customers. We don't hold back on anything here. So if I know something that will work, or I see something that will work better for you, myself, Mario, Nate, Murph, anybody has the ability to come up and say, hey, how about you try this differently? We offer rentals. You can come in, and if you're not 100% sure you want to be in a gearbox, we have multiple chassis that we have set up with the Vortex Rock package that you can go out with and try it yourself. Here at OGP, we can pretty much do anything you want to get into a shifter, as long as it's something that you or anybody is ready to do.
You touched on a couple drivers, and we've had many drivers, Chris, come through here and move on to upper levels of racing. How does that make you feel, though? Being a shop manager, you're right there in the mix of things with these kids growing up and developing over the years. You see the progress that the kids continue to make after coming through the stepping stones here at Ocala Grand Prix.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, it's why we do this. Those of us that are here, usually we're racers, have some sort of racing background. I personally get more of a kick seeing the kids grow up and move on or reach whatever it is for goals that they have is more exciting for me than it ever was going out and winning a race or driving or anything else.
Chris, we know you're a huge part here at Ocala Grand Prix, and without folks like you making this work, I mean, we're looking forward to wrapping up the 2017 season. I know you got a big race coming up in Vegas later this month, but again, looking forward to it, and I really appreciate your time.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tony.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's show. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, check out our website at ocalagrandprix.com. Until next time, I'm Tony Monica. We'll see you then.